Hey y'all, today we're making chicken, broccoli, and rice casserole. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get some stuff prepped. Now I'm using these broccoli florets. I got this at Sam's. You can use broccoli florets. You can use a head of broccoli. Whatever you want, whatever you have, that's what you use. Now I've not used frozen broccoli in here, but I'm sure that would probably be fine too. So what you're going to need is 2 cups. And personally, this is just personal preference. I don't care for huge hunks of broccoli in my casserole. So what I did, and I don't really care for the stems. Like if I'm steaming it, I don't mind the stems, but like in something like this, I don't really want the stems in there. So I cut it really, really close to the top. And then I just pulled the top part apart, if that makes sense. Y'all know what I mean. But anyway, that way I get little small bite-sized pieces of broccoli, okay? And like I said, you need 2 cups, okay? The next thing we're going to do is get our chicken prepped. And one of y'all lovely souls told me this like a year ago. I have these little cutting mats that I use occasionally, and I used to use them all the time because it was all I had. And if you put a wet paper towel under there, they won't slide all over your counter, because I was chasing these little things everywhere. And somebody was nice enough to say, you know, if you slip a little wet paper towel under there, it'll take care of that. So anyway, there's y'all a tip if you didn't know that. So I'm cutting up 2 chicken breasts, and y'all know I rinsed mine off. We're not going to get into that debate today, but I rinsed mine off and then I trimmed it up. Okay, you need about 2 cups of chicken. And then you're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in your pot and melt it. And then you're going to add your chicken in. You need a pot with a lid, okay? Not a skillet, because we need to have plenty of room for everything we're going to add in here. So just a small, like a soup pot, whatever. This is my Dutch oven. So you just need a pot like this with a lid, okay? So put your chicken in there. Get it as even, in as even a layer as you can, and that way everything will cook, and you won't have chicken just sitting up there not cooking. And then I'm just going to season it up. I added a little bit of garlic, onion, a tiny, tiny bit of salt, because we're going to add like broth and cream soup and stuff, and we don't want to oversalt this. But once you get everything cooked and mixed up, just taste it, and if it's, needs a little salt, you can add some. So I just added a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. That's optional. The recipe, I found it on Pinterest. It actually called for thyme, and I'm not a thyme fan, so I just used some oregano. Just a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon or so, I guess. I don't know. Use whatever you want, though. You can season yours with whatever you want to season it with. So once your chicken is, once it releases itself from the bottom of your pan, and if you are kind of new to cooking or whatever, when you're cooking chicken like this, and sometimes like with steak and stuff too, kind of the same principle, if you're cooking it like this, it will kind of be stuck to your pan, and if you go to turn it and it won't come up off the bottom of your pan, it's not ready yet. It will release itself when it's ready to be flipped, okay? So just another little tip for anybody, who may be struggling with that. Because I was like, why will my chicken not come up off the bottom of this pan? And then I realized, you gotta let it do its thing. So you're going to want to cook this chicken until it's done, okay? Because we're not going to put it in the oven for very long. And if I didn't tell y'all, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So once your chicken is done, take it out, put it in a bowl, and we're just going to sit it aside. Now don't worry about that stuff in the bottom of the pan, because once we start adding the liquid, all that's going to come up, and that is just yummy, yummy flavor, okay? So now we're going to add in 2.5 cups of chicken broth. Just add it in slowly so you don't end up with chicken broth everywhere or burning yourself. But you can see it's already kind of changing color because it's pulling that stuff up off the bottom. And look at me making a mess, just sloshing everywhere. But somebody tell me, why are y'all letting me stir this with tongs? Why didn't somebody tell me to get a spoon? Anyway, I don't know. I guess I need an assistant or something to tell me not to do crazy stuff like this, because I was flinging chicken broth everywhere. So once you get your chicken broth add in about a tablespoon of oil. This is olive oil. Y'all look at that fancy oil bottle I've got. I got that from the Ross. I'm so proud of myself. I'm growing up right here in front of y'all's eyes. But once you add your tablespoon of oil, add you in 1 1/4 cups of long grain white rice. That's the rice you have to cook. That's not the instant rice, okay? Bring it to a boil, put the lid on, cut it down to a simmer, let it cook for 6 minutes. After 6 minutes, you're going to take the top off and put your broccoli in. Don't stir this, okay? Don't stir it. You're going to quickly put your broccoli in, spread it out a little bit, and you're going to put the top back on. Let it cook for another 10 minutes. Check it. If it still has liquid in it, put the lid back on really quick and let it sit for another 5, simmering. Once it's done, take it off and let it just sit for 10 minutes off the heat, okay? So once your 10 minutes is up, we're going to get the rest of our ingredients added into our pot, okay? So what I'm adding in is 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. I think the recipe called for cream of chicken, but y'all know I don't usually have cream of chicken. I usually keep cream of mushroom. So that's what I had, but you can use whatever kind of cream soup you have. That's just like the 10.5 ounce, I think. So then you're going to add in a 1/2 cup of sour cream, or in my case, that's non-fat Greek yogurt. I just have the big container that I'd gotten at Sam's, so there's no point in me, getting sour cream and this, because you can use these interchangeably. Now, if you don't want to, you can certainly just use sour cream, but I swap one for the other. Then you add in a 1/2 cup of milk. And then I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir just to kind of get all of that creamy stuff mixed in, because I don't want to tear my chicken up stirring it too much. You know what I mean? So once you get that mixed in, you're going to throw in your cooked chicken. And if you didn't, if you use like a rotisserie chicken, or you had some pre-cooked chicken or something, then you could skip the chicken cooking step and you would just add the chicken in at this point, okay? So mix that up, and then I'm going to add in a cup of cheese, about a cup. Y'all know, see, I didn't measure, but that's just that mixed shredded cheese. It's in the 50-pound bag you get at Sam's. You know what I mean? The big old bags of cheese. You get them and they last forever. So that's the kind of cheese that'll go in everything I make from here until eternity. So mix everything up really good, and look, try to keep a hold of your utensils. And then you're going to get a 9x13 pan, grease it up, and then you're going to dump all that right over into your 9x13 pan, okay? Look, catch it if it tries to escape. So anyway, get everything added in there, and that pot, y'all, is so heavy. I have to dump what I can, and then I have to just scoop the rest of it out, because, Lord, it is heavy to try to hold that thing up, because it's cast iron, So do the best you can with whatever you have. So then you're just going to, what was I saying? Oh, just spread it out, in a pretty even layer. And like I said, this makes a whole lot, y'all. It makes a whole lot. So, but I can tell you, this is another one of those recipes that I had, look, I was tasting it right there. Don't tell nobody. But you can eat on this. Like, I ate on it for a week. Remember last time I made something, I was like, I ate this all week? Well, that's kind of what I did with this. Now, I shared it at first, but what I had left over, I just ate on that all week. So then you're going to take about another cup of cheese or so and put that right over the top of your casserole. Look, don't measure the cheese. That is definitely something you measure with your heart. Cheese, there's never too much cheese. But put a layer of cheese down on there. Then you're going to cover this up with some foil. And we're going to put this in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 15 minutes. And then the recipe actually came with like the topping, like the crackers and stuff. But personally, I don't like a crunchy topping on my casseroles. That's just personal preference, so I did not use it. So after 15 minutes, I took it out, took the foil off, and let it bake until the cheese was as brown as I wanted it. And this is it, y'all. It is so dang good. If you like broccoli, chicken, rice, the whole casserole thing, you're going to love this. You got to try it. Okay, that's all I've got for y'all today, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.